Hi everyone, Pallav this side, and in this CAT 2022 attempt, I secured 99.98 percentile in the CAT, 99.92 percentile in the ZAT, and 99.83 percentile in the IFT. And so far, I have converted all my IIM calls. And in this video, I will be particularly discussing about the VARC strategy, like how you should go from month on month from now onwards. In the last attempt, I had 92 percentile in the VARC, and in this attempt, I had 99.46 percentile in the VARC. So that was a very huge jump personally for me also. Numerically also, it is a quite a great jump, right? So I will suggest you like what worked well for me and what I did different as compared to my previous attempt. From May onwards, what you should be doing daily, the first thing should be to focus on the readings and understanding the different type of genres. The reason being is when it comes to the CAT, so if you are from the non-economics background, and there are high chances that CAT may give you economics passage or philosophical passage. So these type of passages generally do appear in the CAT, and you should have a basic knowledge about the philosophical theories, about the economics theories, or at least economic passage, that what it demands, how much concentration it demands. And the more you practice at those type of passages, for example, being a non-engineer, I had some difficulties regarding the philosophical passages and regarding the biology passages. So those type of passages I used to practice in the mocks a lot, and I used to understand like what exactly they are trying to say and how at my level I can understand them better. So first thing, from the May onwards, we literally have 6 to 7 months till the CAT, and 6 to 7 months are more than enough to prepare for the VRC and to at least get a score where you are clearing your cutoffs, because VRC is one of the section where a lot of students fail to clear their cutoffs. So the cutoff is one thing and scoring high should be the next target. So for clearing the cutoffs, I would say the basic mantra should be to at least give 30 to 40 minutes of yourself to reading and understanding the passages. When I am saying reading and understanding the passages, I hope that we all are graduate or we are in college and we do have a good amount of knowledge, that so that we can comprehend the passage, right? But what happens in the VRC, that we fail to score, and accordingly we start to think that we are not performing well or we are not understanding the passages. But what I feel is that the problem is not the understanding of the text or understanding of the passages. The problem is choosing the right set of answer for your question, and for that your mind should be aligned with the question setter's mind. Basically, you have to understand the passage from the author's viewpoint also, but the foremost thing or the most important thing is to understand everything from the question setter's mind. Actually, how the question setter is setting up the questions for the VRC section, and what are the loopholes or what are the trap areas where you shouldn't fall. So there are some of the words or there are some of the lines which act as a trap, and gradually you would start feeling those type of things in mocks ki matlab there is a particular word or there is an extreme word that you should not be marking in the mocks, right? So for the initial 2 months, if you are just starting right now, or if you are feeling that you are not very well prepared for the VRC through your past CAT attempts, and so far you are not doing VRC rigorously, but you want to do, so what I will suggest ki start practicing along with the concepts and everything. Obviously there are few concepts, but there are not many when it comes to the VRC. VRC is basically driven by the practice you are doing, right? So the more you practice, the better the result would be. And for the practice, the amount of material and the quality of material both matters a lot, because I have seen personally my friends and other juniors who are doing a lot of material and ending up at getting nothing, because we focus too much on the quantity that we often forget about the quality aspect, about the real learning aspect, right? So what you can do if you want to improve your reading skills, for example, you should be at least in the medium or the fast range when it comes to reading the text. You should not be slow enough, because then you will end up missing some passages or missing some questions, right? And when it comes to reading the passage a little fast, your comprehension should be good enough. It should not cost your comprehension or your understanding skills. And to practice those type of stuff, I will suggest you to pick up any editorials on the daily basis, or to refer to the sites like JSTOR, Aeon, Essays, and there are other multiple website, New York magazines I believe, and Economist magazines. So but the Aeon and the JSTOR, these websites contain the passages that are little hard to comprehend. For me personally, I never ever read passages of that type, because there are multiple reasons for that. The first reason is that those passages have around 2000 to 2500 words, and that is basically not similar to what cat used to give the है ना. So the cat used to give around 500 words when it comes to the length of the passage. So the best material would be either to refer to the Hindu editorials, or to refer to other newspaper editorials, or to refer to the past mocks. Basically, I personally suggest referring to the past mocks. The one thing is that when it comes to the past mocks, you would have a content that is more aligned with the cat, whereas on the websites like Aeon and the JSTOR, the content could be anything. The second thing would be the difficulty level. In the past mocks, the difficulty level is more or less similar to what used to come in the cat, but when it comes to the Aeon JSTOR, the passages are very hard, and if you are failing to comprehend those type of passages, then I would say that it would not give any learnings, and then that would be considered just as a time wastage, right? But basically mota mota the thing is ki you should be focusing on the comprehension part and understanding the basic essence of the passage and what is underlying the passage. When I say what is underlying the passage, it basically means why the author has written the passage. Basically, the author has written the passage to convey an idea to the audience. And generally, the author is slightly tilted towards one or the other opinion. He might sound positive, or he might sound extreme negative or a bit negative, and you have to catch that tone. When it comes to the tone, don't try to learn different types of tone or something. Just have a feeling of what the author wants to say, and basis on that the questions are formed. So basically, first the author writes the passage, and then basis on that the question setter sets the question. In the initial months, to improve your reading skills, to improve your comprehension skills, go through the past year mocks of the CL and the Time. CL and Time has the best quality of the RCs and the best text explanations also. So you can find the past year mocks anywhere in the Telegram groups. So that should be your first source to at least go through the passage and to judge yourself about the difficulties you would be facing in the future, and how then you can plan that how you can improve those things, right? The second thing should be practice. For the practice, you can go for the proctored mocks. Don't go for the sectionals, because sectionals basically has some low quality articles, and some low quality efforts are put in when it comes to making the sectional. So better to attempt the current mocks, and for more practice you can again refer to the Time and CL material of the past years, right? Now when it comes to practicing, how you should practice, I would suggest ki daily 2 articles or daily 2 passages with 4 questions each should be more than enough. And how you should analyze like why you are going wrong, and even if you are selecting the right answer, why the other 2 choices are wrong. So basically these things matter a lot, because there should be reasoning behind every choice, why the choice is wrong and why the choice is right. And don't force yourself to accept anything. Please have a good friend circle or have a mentor that can explain why, what, if, how, everything, right? And there should be a good friend circle, because ultimately to solve one question, mentor has to read 500 words, and that might seem practically impossible over the long run. In the short, he or she might solve 1 or 2 passages, but in the long run you would need a good friend circle or good person who can explain the things. Now next come is what you should use as a learning tool for the VRC. Personally, I believe that when it comes to the RC, there is not much thing to learn. For me, the VRC 1000 works a lot better. It requires a lot of efforts from your side also, because there are a lot of materials and you have to consume every material to get better at the things, and the improvement takes a lot of time. So you have to be patient enough also. You can refer to any other course also, whatever you feel is good for you. The fourth thing should be focus on the verbal ability also, because verbal ability has a good amount of questions and it can really boost up your score or can compensate your negatives of the RCs. So focus on the verbal ability, don't take it lightly. And for the parajumbles, what works for me is finding the connector points. At the initial stage, I used to thought that they are not working or they are just some superficial things that wouldn't work in the future. But when I accepted the fact myself that it can work if it is working for another set of people, then obviously this is something logical. So slowly and gradually I started practicing more about finding the connectors point in the parajumbles and solving different types of parajumble sets from here and there. And gradually you will see that the parajumble is the one thing where you don't have negative marking, and you can easily crack the parajumble within 30 seconds or the 60 seconds. Then it comes to the summary question. Summary question I believe is very easy, because a lot of choices had been directly eliminated in the summary question. The reason is, when it comes to the summary questions, there has been a lot of choices where some rotten words are used or where some extreme words are used. So those extreme words can't be ever included in the answers, or the rotten words can't be ever included in the answer. So what I mean by the rotten or the extreme words is like must, never. These are some of the extreme words, and they may be included in the answer, but in the 90 to 95% of the cases they are not there. But given that there are 10 to 5 to 10% of the cases when they can appear, so you have to practice a lot to understand when you can include those type of words in your answer and when you can't. So basically the whole verbal ability section is basically about how you connect different sort of things and how you deduce your inference from the things, right? You should not focus more on the quantity of the material. Obviously there should be a sufficient amount of quantity that should be practiced, but more focus should be more on learning and having a greater outcome when you are investing your time in analyzing the VRC section. So for me, VRC section used to take around 1.5 to 2 hours to analyze, because I had to analyze each and every question, each and every option choices, like why the option choice was created, and how what are the reasons that led the answer choice to be correct or to be wrong. So this all should be analyzed, and the practice should be continuous. It shouldn't be like you are practicing 5 sets today and you are not doing anything for the next 5 days. It shouldn't be like that. Continuity should be there. At least do the 2 RCs daily, and that would be more than enough.